Townstar Godot playtest is live. We are going to look at that. We have the conversion from Town to Gala coming soon, and we're going to look at what this all means on today's Frugal VC. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Frugal VC here, and today we are talking about Townstar. Yes, the Godot playtest for a very select few people is open. It is live. People are doing it right now. This behind me is the regular town, not the new town. Honestly, as Lycan Warlord pointed out in his stream as well, doesn't look all that much different right now, the actual playtest. I mean, some of the things look a little different. There's a couple of key differences, and we're going to talk about those today. We're going to talk about the conversion from Town to Gala, because Town Coin is completely going away. That should be coming soon, so we're going to talk about that. And then we're just going to talk about some of the changes that are coming and what this means for Townstar and whether it's still worth it. So if you like this kind of content, I'd love it if you hit the like button to share it to more people and to subscribe to the channel to see all our videos on crypto and doing these experiments. Townstar was one of my experiments, and at least for a while, I considered it a failed experiment because I had purchased, spent about $300 on an NFT to earn Town Coin, and then by July it shut off. And that was it. Haven't been earning anything on it since. I've earned some NFTs from playing the game, which is fun, but now the earn function should be coming back on once Godot is fully released. Not sure when that's going to be. So right now it's just a handful of select people. So last Thursday, the Godot version of Townstar went live to people who placed in the top 200 in one of the competitions, and then also to town node owners. They got access just a little bit after the other folks, but basically the people who are like really active in the Discord, who play a lot, those are the people who got to play the game. And now Dubstep Rod, he's someone who is in the Discord, very active there. He's a very active player, and he streams on YouTube. He did some streaming of that. I'm probably going to cut in just a little bit of footage from that, so you might be seeing that right now. You kind of got a first look at this thing. It looks very, very similar. One of the big differences, and you're probably seeing that in the screen right now, is not exact snap anymore. There's like mini spaces within the grid, so you can actually adjust them. One of the features that we found out is you can have a single road and have like a bunch of lumberjacks around that road, more than 4. Like right now, you'd be able to have 4 around it, a single road square, but now you can actually have more like 6. And then of course there is going to be a daylight feature. So actually, time of day. So the lighting will change at whether it's nighttime or morning or dusk or blah, blah, blah. And the bigger features with Godot, for one thing, they're going to catch bugs and cheaters a lot more easily. But the biggest thing is you won't have to leave town on all the time. Like you can see I got on going on back here. When you're in competition, you got to pretty much leave. If you want any chance of being competitive, you got to leave that on, which is kind of a bummer. Now, the team says they ironed out a lot of the bugs. It looked like there were quite a few bugs in Dubstep Rob's stream. I noticed he kind of pointed them out, like not all his NFTs ported over, but most of them seem to. I just recall some various bugs popping up. But it looks good. It looks smooth. It looks fun. The game, I've always thought the game was pretty fun overall. And, the other aspect of Godot, like we said, it's going to allow the earn function to turn back on. Now, important point, if you haven't seen my previous videos, the earn is now going to be in Gala Coin, not Town. So that's a huge change. I think they figured out that the Town economy just isn't going to have the legs to stand on its own. The reason they turned off earning in the first place is because basically people were earning Town, selling it, taking cash, and then earning more Town. So people weren't really putting Town back into the ecosystem. I think one way they could have prevented that is if all the NFTs had to be purchased in Town. I think you'd have more Town coming back in, so you'd have some buy pressure as well as sell pressure, possibly, but they decided just to do away with it. Now, was this the right choice? And I made videos about this before when it happened, and subsequently in that period, because it's been almost 9 months, probably 6, 7, 8 months. It was since July. So was it the right decision? I think it was. However, I had a problem with the way they framed it, and I've since figured out why they framed it that way. But at the time, and as other people, like in Warlord is a good example of YouTubers, pointed out, these these communication issues with Gala, they just aren't, it's not their strong suit. They tend to kind of blame the users for anything that goes wrong. It's kind of irritating. And just this past AMA, they like blasted people who were negative in their Discord, you know, and they've really, I've noticed that they really cracked down on dissent. Not even just like, I can understand like people who are like abusive, but even people who raise like pretty legitimate concerns tend to get like scolded and, you know, basically told they're on their last legs. It's pretty frightening. I usually consider that a red flag in a project. One of the issues I had early on was when they turned the earn off. They were kind of going publicly saying, and I saw this in interviews with like the head of Gala or their public face of Gala, saying, oh, you know, you shouldn't be buying these NFTs to earn money. You're supposed to buy these to play the game. It's like, well, I had a huge problem with that because I'm like, wait. You launched a play to earn game with NFTs that are very, very expensive to buy. You know, we're not talking like the $300 one I bought. That was like the bare minimum, other than the Gala Gold one, which is like a $50 that you earn one Gala coin. I bought the next one up, the water tank, for it was about $300 at the time. Now it's like, now you can get one for like $20. And that one earns 3 town coin a day. Obviously not going to anymore. And so a lot of these were more like in the thousands, even tens of thousands, I think, for the ones that earn like 700, some like the wheat stand, very expensive. So you can't tell me that people are buying that and not expecting to get some kind of return. Now, what I learned was, since I've been like really heavy in the Discord, there are people out there that actually buy these really expensive NFTs, and they've been buying this whole time. The whole time Earn was shut off, they were still buying NFTs because they just like playing the game. It's that kind of obsession for them. And then that's the people they hear from, because that's the people who are really active in the Discord. So I think there's sort of a disconnect where they think the Discord audience, who is, you know, really focused on this game in the Discord all day, when I hear their communications, they're almost said like, because I was always surprised about it. Their communications were always delivered as if you felt like you were walking into a conversation that had already begun a long time ago, like you're walking into the middle. So now I get it, because everybody on the Discord is so like zeroed in and understands this stuff that they think that's their whole audience, and they're not catering to the person who is a little more casual, which you kind of have to. I understand like keeping that core base happy, but also you have people coming in that are kind of, you're not going to grow unless you appeal to people kind of in that mid-range where they kind of care, but they're not going to listen to an hour AMA every week. I've kind of started doing it because just so I can report to you guys, and because I'm curious on the progress. But when I started listening to these AMAs, I couldn't find anything on their websites. I couldn't find anything on their blog posts. Well, it turns out they pretty much exclusively communicate on their Discord, and you have to like, there's like an FAQ section, and the FAQ section is where a lot of the new information is, which I wouldn't necessarily, I would expect that to be in the announcements and not the FAQ. That seems like basic information, but because they wouldn't be that frequently asked, I guess. Maybe I'm being a little harsh on them, but I guess more communication is always better than less, and in more places I think is better. Like it would have been good to have a couple blog posts that just kind of lay out the whole Godot thing, what they're doing, what they're trying to do, the benefits. And then, you know, so anyway, also coming, like I said, is the conversion from town to Gala. So that's supposed to start this week, according to Farmer Michelle. In fact, she was saying Monday. I don't know. It's Monday as I record this, so we'll see. They said that the Godot playtest got pushed way back, so this might as well. But you will be able to get 1.25 town to 1 Gala. Now, I have been saying 2 to 1 because they had been saying 2 to 1 in their AMAs. What they meant was going from 2 coins to 1 coin. You can see how that might be a little confusing and not really needing explanation when you're already saying that you're getting rid of town. Just a really bizarre communication thing. So anyway, that should be happening soon this week. Also happening is the expansion of the playtest. Now that they have been extremely vague on. When will other people get to play, and how will that be determined? Like, what will the next tiers be? I actually asked that in the Discord during one of the AMAs. They didn't really give me an answer, but eventually, as the servers are able to handle more players, there will be more people added to it. So I don't know who that's going to be. I'm going to guess it's going to be active players. Maybe they're going to go by that certain competition, keep going, adding at 200, 300 at a time. I don't really know, but so far doesn't look like from following the Discord that anybody else has been added besides that initial batch. Meanwhile, they've been selling these NFTs all along. They're pretty expensive. You can get NFTs on OpenSea right now for Townstar, and all the ETH ones are going to work. They will be converted over at some point. But you will have 6 months, by the way, to convert your town to Gala. Once that starts, and it should be sometime this week, you want to get on that pretty quick because you don't want to lose your town, because eventually the town's just going to be worthless. And so if you still have it, it won't do anything. And this is as they move from Ethereum to their Geary chain. So keep an eye on that. Now, the question is it worth it? Like I said, you can pick up some of these older NFTs and they will work on Townstar. And the whole Gala Power thing is going away too. So as far as I know, it's just going to be whatever NFTs you place, you earn on that. I don't know that 100% for sure. What you actually earn is going to be based on the pool. So it depends on how much they take in, gets paid out. So you don't really know. You're not going to be able to count on a specific amount every day is what it sounds like. I've thought about whether it's worth it getting some of those older NFTs that are far, far cheaper now, but I don't really know what they're going to earn. So it's a gamble. Now, what do I think about the game? I actually think the game is really fun. It doesn't seem like it's not very newbie friendly, and that's something like in Warlord has pointed out on his channel. He's got great videos on Townstar, and he's got quite a rant about Townstar in his latest stream, so you might want to go check that out. Maybe I'll even link to it below. But I kind of agree with him in that, and he had a proposal a long time ago to make it more beginner friendly by expanding it. Now, the last Gala competition, these are like week-long competitions, like Tuesday to Saturday, so almost a week. You could place in the top 1,200 and still earn. So when there's about 3,000 players, that was one thing he said that wasn't quite correct. He said there's only 1,000 players in Townstar. Is actually probably closer to 3,000 in the competition. It was pretty, I'll tell you, it's a lot different than when I first started playing, though. Far fewer people. But yeah, his idea was to expand it out. And so they did seem to expand it out a little bit. But to be competitive now with the metas that they put forward, it's like if you don't have NFTs, you're pretty much screwed. Another thing that he came up with that I really, really like is to have like an intro tier in the competition. And once you place in a certain top 200 or whatever, you have to move on to the intermediate one. And then in the intermediate one, if you do so well, you have to move on to the next one. I think that's a great idea. And, credit to him. He's the one that came up with that. But I think that's a really good idea to get new players in. But as he points out, and I think he's correct, I just don't think they care. I think they really cater to the people who are buying these NFTs left and right because it's supporting their business. I kind of get that. On the same token, if you make everything super pay to play, then you're only going to attract a certain group of people, and that's going to limit your overall growth. That's my assessment on Townstar. Like I said, I still think it's a fun game to play. I got it going back here, and I'm really curious to see what the Godot version is like. I really like that. I'm not going to have to keep my town on. So yeah, let's hope for the best. And thanks for watching. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button. You don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. I'm Frugal BC. Hope you're doing well out there. Remember, not your keys, not your crypto. Get your stuff off those exchanges, and I will see you in the future.